Chocobo, Utah. This is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Kaleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Kaleb.
And I'm your other host, Joe.
And it's been a little while since we had a normal episode, I have to say. The last little bit, we've been doing game reviews. We've been doing Spotlights, a two-parter on the great Nobuo Uematsu. And then, of course, our Patreon episode. So, a live episode. It's been like a month and a half since we've done this. So.
It has been quite a while. We did do some of the...
Haven't released them yet.
We haven't released some things that we have recorded.
Yes.
But we're excited to get to those eventually. I would like to say, though, we do have another review coming up probably next week. But, you know, it depends on whether or not Schweiss and I can beat the game in time, which
right.
I think I can. I'm not sure about Schweiss, and Schweiss's schedule is pretty hectic right now.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit.
So whether or not we beat Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission by next time is up in the air a little bit, but you'll certainly know by next Saturday.
Yes, you will.
So before we get to anything, Schweiss, you can always find us at youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy.
You can tweet me and the show at UFF Podcast.
You can tweet me and the show, sort of, at Joseph DeGolier. You can go to twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. See us playing the game live. Are we going to be playing some Last Mission today?
You can stream it if you want. I don't want to.
Okay.
Dude, I'm going to have to look up a guide on how to play this fucking thing.
Dude, the guide will not help.
And I don't want that on the screen with me playing. That's just embarrassing.
I can give you all the tips that the guide gave me.
All right, maybe we'll just have like a two-cam system where we're just both playing the fucking game.
Okay.
We'll see. I need to work on it, though.
And everything and more can be found at our website, ultimafinalfantasy.com. And we are currently working on a website. If there comes a time, sometime in the next couple weeks, in which you go to log on the site and perhaps your login information doesn't work, you may have to make a new profile. I'm not sure about that. I think I can get you over. However, the posts from the old forum will survive.
Yes, it's not going to be a total reset like last time. I know that was the big bummer because I had a ton of posts. There were a bunch of other people that were just all about it.
Yeah.
And then like, a new one.
We're working on a website that's faster. That's
much faster.
So like, we had our fast website before, but it was kind of a boring website. And then we have our slow website, but better looking website right now. And we're finding a happy medium.
Yes.
So we're trying to make the best for the users, honestly, right now. Just the website is so fucking slow.
It is, man. It's so bogged down with all these different links and all these apps that we have to use within WordPress to make it fucking work.
Yeah.
We've just become overburdened with them, and it's clean slate.
Got to do something simple.
It's very clean, though, and it's very quick. The
yes.
new one. So I'm looking forward to truly unveiling that. And when you guys go there, we will set up a redirect, I assume, right?
Yeah, there will be a redirect. It will not be ultimafinalfantasy.com, but that's where we'll tell you to go. It's going to be a subdomain on a larger site that'll like take care of our whole network. If you've seen the wolfpop.com site or the Earwolf, whatever they're calling themselves right now, it's going to be something similar to that. So that's what we're trying to do, and it will be done soon. We've actually been doing a lot of work on it. So
big part of why I haven't been playing much. So.
It's all for you guys. It really is.
In the end, yes.
Another quick thing about this episode, we are trying a different recording technique this week. There may be a little bit more room noise, but we'll see what happens when it's finally mixed down. So if the episode doesn't sound 100% up to snuff, it's because we're trying new things. So just be patient with us for this episode. Schweiss, So, where are you in Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I am... okay, I tried it, right. I got to floor 2, I believe, and then I died, and then I restarted. Because there was no save in between that. So I'm still like trying to figure out the mechanics of the game. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is happening around me. But I think hanging out with you today and trying to just go through as much as I can will be a big benefit to me. So not really started it yet, I guess is the concise answer to that. What about yourself? I know you've been playing it.
I'm on floor 45.
Oh, okay. It's only 35 more, right?
Yeah, and I think my estimate per hour is like 7 to 10 floors per hour.
Okay.
So maybe a little bit more than that. It might be like 5 floors per hour, depending on how you go through each floor of the dungeon. It's an 80 floor tower is what you're going through. So I think I can finish it in 2 days of solid playing. Or not playing the entire day, but like playing for a couple hours each day.
Okay.
I know that the final boss is supposed to be a bitch, but past that, I think it's supposed to be kind of... it's pretty gradual, the difficulty, and if you understand the mechanic, which is the hardest part about that game, is just understanding what the fuck is going on. If you understand it, it's not actually that difficult.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't hit into anything besides the cactars when I was a little too early level to hit into the cactars. That was a problem. But you don't even have to worry about leveling up in that game. There's items that level you up. And so it's not like go to every floor and kill everything.
Right.
It's just kill the things in your way while you're trying to get to the next elevator point. However, there is a trophy in order to get the platinum where you have to find the secret rooms, which I believe are around floor 60. And in order to do that easily, you do have to save up on a certain type of item, and I'll get that information for you because you're going to want that. Yeah. I don't want it, though. I just want to beat the fucking game.
Yeah, I want to platinum the game eventually. I mean, it's not going to happen for some time, but somewhere down the road, I'd be willing to play 10-2 again and just go through 100% it. It's a long game if you're doing everything in it, so...
Yeah, there are items, though, in Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission that will allow you to restart the entire thing on the level you're at.
Oh, okay.
So if you're running into problems, you can hopefully run into that item and then just restart the whole fucking thing.
So is that a way to grind? I mean...
That is a way. If you get stuck, that's a way to get rid of it. Now, I've only come across that item like twice.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I may have thrown it away. And the worst thing about that game is that the inventory is like tiny.
Oh, it's like FF4 all over again.
You get, I think, like 15 items. Like it's 15 to 20 items, and they don't fucking stack.
Oh man!
So
no way.
They don't stack, man. It's FF4 again.
Oh. Yeah. Well, they stacked when you made them stack, but in this one they don't stack at all. Like a potion takes.
They don't stack at all. They will come in their own stacks if you find them in like a stack of 3.
Come on,
but you can't sort it and have them stack.
That is bullshit. If you can find them in a stack of 3, you should be able to stack them in a stack of fucking
bullshit.
3.
It is bullshit. And about every 4 floors, it's every 5 floors. So you get to floor 4.5 on whatever thing you're at. You do get to go back to the shop and you could sell some items.
Oh, okay.
And you can get some items, but then those are randomized, whatever items the shop has for sale. This game is, the learning curve on this game, though, the mechanics of it, it's hard to explain. I can't even like, Caleb Craig was asking me, what is Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission? What is it like? And I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain it. It's turn-based. Yet it's on a grid, so I was like, well, maybe it's kind of like Tactics. I mean, I've never played Tactics, but maybe it's kind of like Tactics in that way. But at the same time, you're playing one character, and then you got the tiny inventory slots. You have dress spheres, and they stack on top of each other. And then you have different attacks, melee attacks. Some attacks take down your HP in order to do damage. Some attacks take down your MP in order to do damage. It's bizarre, to say the least. This is one of the weirdest fucking games I've ever played. I do say right now, though, I think it's better than 10-2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty rough.
It's just so strange of a game.
Well, I look forward to trying to figure out Last Mission a little better today.
Learning curve took me a little while. But as long as you know that the dresses stack, Like, it's going to be easier.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's important, like, you got to level up certain dress spheres, and when you level them up, the HP bar on the dress sphere gets bigger. So whatever dress sphere that you want the biggest HP bar to have, you put that in the front. It's fucking weird. I like to tell in the audience right now who's never played this game, Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission, it is just bizarre. I don't know any other game like it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do call it they're like, Last Mission is another reason why 10-2 was ahead of its time, you know? I've seen a lot of people quoting it as that, so I don't know. I've heard that there are other games out there that are similar to it, but I've never played any of them, so I don't know.
All right, well, this is a Final Fantasy, Ultima Final Fantasy catch-up day. We haven't had one of these in a while.
Yes.
We had them after the 13 episodes, I think, where we hadn't had a good episode where we had news in a long time. Shinru and others have been posting news constantly throughout this whole entire thing. So when I was on my my hiking getaway, I wasn't out there 100% of the time, but when I was on my hiking getaway, I didn't look at anything.
Oh, really?
And then when I came back home, I didn't look at anything. There were some headlines I saw that some people like tweeted me, oh, there's a Monopoly game and shit like that. And it's like, oh, well, I'll get to that after we're done with these review episodes. So, Schweiss, do we want to move on to our news/discussion for the episode?
Let's hit it.
All right. News.
Oh, man. So, like Joe said, there is a shit ton of news this week. We're talking FF7 board games coming out.
It's old school FF7. Did you see that thing?
Yeah, I saw the logo for it.
That's like I have like Metallica Monopoly and shit like that. I'm excited. I'm going to get it. I mean, I've heard
we're going to get it.
Its initial price tag is $50, which is actually pretty normal for a board game. I think people were freaking out on the forums for that, but like you got to wait a little while and then it becomes $35.
Yeah.
And then it's like normal price for a board game. But we're getting that shit.
Oh yeah. No doubt. I enjoy Monopoly. I think it's probably the least fair game out there. It's so random, but anyone can win, I think.
You know, if it was that random, then we should all have the same amount of winning, right? Like, if it was a truly randomized game, then when we got in a group to play Monopoly, the same person wouldn't win it 80% of the time.
Well,
if
that's
it was
true.
Truly randomized.
That is true, but it is a very random and anarchistic game.
You just got to be a dirty capitalist.
Unless you don't land on properties, and then you can't.
That's true.
There's been like 3 out of the last 5 games where one time I only had 2 properties when they were all taken. That tends
to be an issue when you have a large group.
Yeah, when it's like 5 or 6 people. Yeah. That's what it was.
4 people is perfect for Monopoly, though.
Yeah.
You usually all get property somewhere, and then you can trade.
Right.
And then, the person who does the best wheeling and dealing, which is usually me, will win. And then all Kaleb Craig wants to do
is make you not win.
Is make me not win, and he hardly ever succeeds.
Yeah, it's true. It's just too tempting. You know what people need. So anyway, the first chunk of news I have here is Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. They have a 9-minute gameplay video. They're promising heightened visuals along with the Zodiac Job system, which we knew they would include.
They're calling it the Zodiac Age?
Yes, Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age.
This is HD?
Yes, this is an HD version of Final Fantasy XII.
This is the one coming out in 2017? Or?
2017 is all we have right now. It just says coming 2017.
At least it has a tentative date.
Yeah, I do think they kind of jumped the gun on this one, though. I mean, it's a little bit of a ways away. I mean, especially if it doesn't come out in like the first few months of 2017, it's like, what kind of hype is even built? I mean, I'm excited for it.
We're going to buy it.
We're going to buy it, yes.
But
it's not, it doesn't have the 15 hype that they've built up where they've got all of these things coming out. And it's like, oh yeah, it's coming out in September, not November kind of a thing.
Okay.
Where they release that information 4 months from the release date and not 7. But I'll still buy it. There's a YouTube link in the description of the episode. You guys can check that out if you want, or it's on the news page.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I didn't see this gameplay stuff.
Oh, it's
Does it look like FF12 gameplay? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
It's they have like a turbo run function that they have in the Zodiac Job system, and then a lot of the rare game. There's like this big dungeon that you can do, and it has a bunch of it's got like 100 floors or something like that, and that's where some of the rare game appear in this version. So you don't have to do all the bullshit to get them. You could just do this this dungeon within the game. So that's pretty sweet.
Sweet.
They're also opening up a Final Fantasy VII ride in Dubai. It's like a...
I heard about this. That's right.
There's not really a whole lot on it, but these guys have made like Resident Evil ones. They've made a bunch of these other game franchises, and it's just like a little ride that you go through, and it has imagery and stuff that jumps out at you.
Is Dubai... Is that in one of those places where they don't have to worry about international copyright? I'm wondering if it's officially licensed or if they're just making one.
That's a good question. I'm not actually sure. I would imagine they're okay with
Certainly if they
making it.
made one in China, then they would just be like, well, we don't need your permission. It's China.
Yeah. Maybe they're taking the same mentality. So, I mean, that's...
Maybe. I mean, you would sign off as a license, right? You'd be like, yeah, give us $10,000. You can... Or more than that, I would actually say.
Yeah, if I was
Square. And you can use our stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I would not. I mean,
right, exactly.
Of course, we aren't making millions and millions on video games with thousands of employees that we have to keep in mind either. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that's road trip worthy.
No,
what? You don't want to go out there? You don't want to go to the
day when the nice highway,
Arab Emirates?
The day when the nice highway is built between Alaska and Russia is the day we can have a real road trip.
Oh God, that's like a death trip. It's fucking ice.
Oh yeah, well you'd go in the summer, right?
Yeah, but I guess it'd be maybe okay.
It'd be okay.
Summer during the day and then just park at night.
Yeah, have you heard the price tags for doing a bridge like that? That I've been talking about for years.
I have not. What's it looking like?
It's high.
Is it looking like the U.S. is going to pay for it?
I'm sure that it would improve trade so much though in that area. I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
I don't know.
But I guess it's like logistically, it's kind of almost impossible to make a bridge, especially because during the winter they have those ice sheets and the amount of pressure it would put on anything going into the sea.
Yeah, it would mess it up.
It would just be it would have to be a gigantic thing that could take care of that shit. I think it sounds like one of the coolest things ever, but Russia doesn't actually have the infrastructure on that side of their country to deal with that. They don't have a highway within 1,000 miles of that point.
Yeah, it's pretty barren up there.
Yeah.
They don't fuck with it. So anyway, World of Final Fantasy, which is going to be released October 25th, they have announced a Sephiroth Summon as a pre-order bonus for this game. The game is supposed to be over 100 hours without side quests. Over 100 hours.
I'm sorry, say this again.
As a main campaign.
What's the game?
This is World of Final Fantasy, the chibi one.
Oh, Jesus.
There's going to be 200 mini games within this.
I just hope it's canceled.
It's not going to get canceled.
Oh, it's on our playlist. Why, God? Why does it have to be that long?
It's so tiny. They're just little dudes. They don't need the animation power.
They don't need that many hours put towards this chibi bullshit.
Yeah, well, hopefully FF15 is going to be about that long. And speaking of FF15, they had a ton of updates with E3. Square Enix had their own little presentation. They had some scrub playing against Titan during the Xbox, the Microsoft presentation. The guy sucked, man. I was like, man, I don't know about this game is what I was thinking. But then I was like, you know what? This guy is kind of getting hit a lot. I wonder if he's just bad. Like, what did they do? Like a drawing, a little put your name in a hat at the office and he got chosen? I don't know. But anyway, they're still hanging on to the super open world game. They don't want to have a lot of linearity, although it's more of a you get to a certain part of the story and then you unlock more of the map to then do whatever you want. So it does have some linearity. It's not FF12 where you can bypass certain areas and go into the deep level 50 zone when you're still level 20. But it is going to be closer to that than Final Fantasy XIII for sure. And of course, we all know about the Prompto thing. He's like obsessed with taking photographs. And you can actually take pictures. He takes them by himself, but you can like stop and take a photo. And you can upload those to social media. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of fun. As we're playing it, we can find some like weird shit that happens in the world and just tag it and throw it up.
You want to know what's weird shit?
What's that?
I let you go off, so I let you finish right there. I thought there was a wasp on my fucking shoulder here, and unfortunately the camera didn't pick it up. It was two flies having sex.
Yeah.
There might have been a point where the people saw my face go like this on the camera, but like I was like, what in God's name is that thing? It's like two flies, like one fly on top of the other. Jesus.
Man, you're the freaking hitch of flies, I guess.
Well, man, am I that dirty? Well, you shouldn't have flies buzzing around your house. I guess it is the summer, though.
Yeah, it is. It's impossible. So, I think we talked about this. They're going to have a wait mode in Final Fantasy XV instead of the super active. If you're a little afraid of the action games, a little slower on the action games.
If you are a little slower.
Yeah. If you're more old school, you can do a wait mode, which basically pauses the entire game.
And
lets
for you to make decisions.
Yeah. It's similar to the wait mode in any other Final Fantasy where...
Oh, it's like the FF12 wait mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even in FF, I think 7, a bunch of them, you could do it where as you're selecting shit, the enemies can't attack you.
Yeah, that's what I did in FF12 is like auto.
Yeah.
So I might do that for 15. It depends on how the battle system is in 15. Like how much more is it going to be the simplified thing that we've seen in the 2 demos so far? Or is it going to be more complicated? Because if it's more complicated, then yes, the wait mode makes sense.
It would, yeah, at that point.
Like if you have like a shitload of things in your inventory or different spells that you have to deal with. But if it's as action game oriented as it is, the sort of Kingdom Hearts button pressing,
right?
That
it shouldn't be necessary.
It shouldn't be necessary
if that's the case. Yeah.
But,
that's why I'm kind of wary about this thing. I'm like,
well, no, that's better than what they were saying before. They were saying before they were thinking about having 2 battle systems. You remember that?
Well, that is how it's going to be. I think you can choose wait or active, but that is
well, yeah, but that's not 2 battle systems.
No, you're right. That's a slowed down version of the same battle system for wait mode.
Yeah,
so it is a bit different. One other cool thing that they asked the director. It was like a 16 question thing at E3. They asked him if you can turn off the HUD, and you can. You can turn the HUD off, and you can actually take photos without the HUD. So you can do like a full screen of photograph. And if you get good at it and you don't need the HUD up anymore, you can just play the game that way.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't. I mean, there would be some instances where you'd be like, ah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play without it. But so another thing they asked him was they got these clips of like this fighting rink kind of a thing, like an arena mode. And apparently... it's a lot closer to cockfighting than it is actual fighting. You basically bet on monsters to fight against each other. Yeah, this sounds like there's going to be some activist groups in this game that are like, bring down the pits. You know?
Well, it's a game.
It is, but I think they should program those people into the game to where there's like this movement that tries to tear down the cruelty.
Oh, you're saying in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Okay, all right. I can deal with that.
Yeah, so another cool element of 15 is we have the standard Final Fantasy setup where you basically get stuck on a guy and you're like, well, I'll go back and I'll grind it out. 15's still going to have that, but it's not going to be so nerfed to where you have to level grind to get through bosses. You can actually use your prowess in battle and your tactics and stuff to take stuff down that might not be necessarily something you should be attacking. So it's not the standard just grind it out until you're done, but you can make it that way. So I think that's kind of a cool...
something Tabata said?
Yeah, that's something that they said they employed.
Okay, so we're going to have no level up challenges, what we're saying here.
Probably, yeah. Where you can. I mean, you might need to level up to some extent, but it's like he said if you play the game and you get stuck on a boss, you can grind, or you can just try different things to kill him. Which is, that's kind of how it is in most games, but it's reassuring that you don't have to just grind your way out of everything.
Well, with other Final Fantasies, your HP bar is only so high. And so, like, if you get to a boss that does 3,000 damage and your HP is like 1,500, then there's nothing you can do except for grind.
Right, yeah.
So I'm wondering, I mean, it has to be a factor
It's got to be, yeah, in some way. I don't know about the super low-level playthroughs, but I don't know. There is a lot of dodging in the game, so you might be able to just avoid.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. There's got to be some bosses, though, that have an area...
Yeah, where you can't get out.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be some.
That's going to happen.
So try to play it just normally. Don't try to go nuts, I would say.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will. There's going to be a couple different control layouts for the game, apparently. There's going to be the original episode Disque and the new demo, the Platinum demo. They're going to kind of have both sort of styles of controls, and you get to choose between those, and they might throw a third one in there, which is odd to me.
That seems a little people-pleasing.
It is, but it's something that most games have. It's like a different control
Would
layout.
you take the Disque or would you take the new one?
I'd probably take the new one. I don't know.
take
The only
Disque.
thing I remember about Disque that I hated was the fucking dodging.
Well, I assume that mechanic's going to be fixed.
It was atrocious. Or the counters, too. It's like you have to counter 3 seconds before they get to you. That's not a counter. That's like a preemptive counter. That's like, okay, he's coming. I'm going to do this and then hit. The counter is you block and then you stab him with your
I thought the
tiny
dodging
knife.
was much better in Disque.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was shitty at the second one, so.
Oh, I like the second one. Anyway, the game's going to have about 200 hours of gameplay to clear everything. There's going to be...
Oh,
There's a lot of little side quests, though. I mean...
FF12.
I know. I'm stoked. And also, you know, the summons. We've been seeing a lot about the summons. There's like, we've seen Leviathan so far. We've seen, of course, Ramu. And there's not going to be very many of those guys. They're saying that there's going to be a limited amount of Astrals in the game, which seems like kind of a disappointing thing. But they are pretty overpowered, so...
We've seen Titan, we've seen Leviathan, we've seen Ramu, and they've all been fucking huge and awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, there doesn't have to be fucking 20 of them.
No, I'm not too worked up about that. I think it might, and they're going to be paced throughout the game, so hopefully they'll scale down after a while. Like it's way too overpowered right now, and they're going to make it less of a almost death mechanic. It's just going to be when you're in a really tight spot. You don't necessarily have to be almost dead for the summons to come out. For the final product, of course. And another cool thing I saw in one of the videos I was watching is chocobos were like attacking people. So like you ride a chocobo and then like you get into a fight and then you're killing dudes and then the chocobo like jumped up and like clawed some enemy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be the combat chocobo that we know and love from the Type 0 trailer, at least. We haven't played the game, of course, but pretty stoked about that. Another fun thing that's, a little add-on if you pre-order the game. They're going to come with a slew of extra content, including extra weapons, colorings, I guess, which I would assume are like little art things. I don't know if they're going to be physical or what. And a Lucius Kingdom suit for Noctis. It's like a character-specific outfit, extra skin for him. And another awesome thing that we fucking missed is they added 10,000 more copies of FF15 Ultimate Collector's Edition.
I wasn't going to pay the $300.
Well, that's good because it's already gone.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to.
Dude,
it's too much.
I wanted to, but it's fucked up. That's way too much money.
It's too much, and we got our tickets for KupoCon instead.
Yeah, I think that's more...
Yeah.
Yeah, do I really need the play arts thing? It's not really.
Nah.
The experience of a...
Oh, and we also got tickets to Distant Worlds.
Oh, that's right, guys. We're going to Distant Worlds.
We're going to both.
Going to both, yep. And they released another cool little video. It's in the description. A day and night cycle at the Hammerhead gas station. It looks pretty good. The physics of the day and night cycle look really awesome. One thing I did notice as I was watching it, though, is there's like a little flagpole, and the flag movements are like the same.
Constant?
Yeah, it's a constant thing. Although they were fast forwarding it, so as you're running through the city, I assume you won't really notice that. But I saw it and I was like, that's really odd.
Oh, it's a video game. It's not.
Yeah, I don't know. And did we talk about the Final Fantasy disease that they were bringing up?
We might have touched on it before.
I think we did, but it was interesting to read about. Apparently, the disease that's like what Tabata calls Final Fantasy disease was infecting members of Square Enix, and they didn't want to change things because they couldn't imagine anything other than their version of Final Fantasy.
Well, they hadn't made their version of Final Fantasy for fucking ever. So.
Yeah, that's true. So it doesn't matter what they want anymore. It's about us. Right. But no, I personally think they need to be rooted out and dealt with accordingly if that's what they're going to be doing.
Well, look, the series always changes. It changes in increments usually.
Yeah, it's not drastic like this one's going to be.
But the series always has been developing, and sometimes it's for the worse and sometimes it's for the better.
Yeah, and when it is for the worst, normally they do take a step back and they look at things. They're like, well, do we really want the junction system to be the future? No, we don't. Do we really want the 13 system to be the future? Well, some of us do, but I don't think in the end they made that, but they made 15 out of it, to where it's like, let's make it more. Let's make it faster and more active. So
Yeah.
it is a giant evolution, and that's something we've definitely seen throughout the playthrough of the series. It's something awesome. So another cool. Okay, this one's actually really fucking lame to me, but we're gonna watch the video, the VR experience for Final Fantasy XV. It is a Gimatsu video, and we're gonna start at about 2 minutes and 17 seconds in, because the rest of it's all filler. All right, let's take a look at this, Joe. First time.
Okay.
Hit it! Stay down!
He's wearing the fucking PlayStation VR thing on his head. All right, that's enough of that.
So you're supposed to wear the PlayStation VR in order to open that up?
Yeah, it's going to be a VR exclusive little section of the game where you just have the headset and you do virtual reality shooting as Prompto. Personally, I think I'd be sweet if I could go through the whole game wearing the thing, but that would be a little bit ridiculous.
Oh, I hope you don't have to do those quests to do the platinum.
I hope so too, because that's a $400 piece of machine on his head, and that's shameless to me. Look at that. He's wearing the PlayStation VR thing in the fucking game. Can you, like, jerk off Sony anymore right now with that? Like, please.
You can, first off, but that's...
How do you feel about that? It looks weird as fuck to me. When I saw it,
the
I was
gameplay
like,
looks fun, but him wearing the thing is kind of stupid.
It takes you out of the world in a way, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's as groundbreakingly dumb as you do, but
Well, when I saw it, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. But I think we should all, for Nude Clan, we should all go in on a VR thing, since we all have PS4s.
Yeah.
$100 each.
yeah.
It's whatever. Take
$100 each.
Yeah,
Jeez.
take weekends throughout the
Why
year.
don't you just why don't you just stab me?
Yeah, so also along with the Final Fantasy XV pre-order extras, there's a side-scroller called A King's Tale that they're going to release. Takes place in like a fictitious 30-year before Final Fantasy XV world. It features retro graphics and very fast-paced combat.
Really?
Yeah, it looks really odd, and I can't really recognize any of the characters that are in it, so it might be just a whole new cast of people that aren't part of the universe.
Kind of like Kingslave.
Yeah. But I'm hoping that it's not that. I'm hoping that it's it's like maybe King Regis when he was younger being a badass or something like that, but not a whole lot on that. We also watched the Final Fantasy Brotherhood Episode 2, Dogged Runner, where we saw Prompto turn from a fat white boy to a very skinny Japanese man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was odd. But
So we can't call them the duo. What do we call them? The group?
yeah, the clan
The clan.
with a K.
Prompto's not watching the road. He almost hits into a dog, and then he realizes that the dog's leg is injured, and then Prompto's we flash back in time to Prompto's past.
Right, where he's a fat little kid, and he runs into the same situation where he finds a dog, and he's like, well, it looks really fucked up. Let's nurse it back to health. Mm-hmm. Nurses it back to health. The dog runs away to its true owner, which is Luna Freya.
Yeah. And then he gets a letter from Luna Freya, and then
he creepily stores it in his drawer and smells it before he whacks off, I'm sure.
That's probably true.
That'd be funny if it was like her scribe and it was his like man scent, and he just thought it was the girl. Talk about confusing feelings at that point. Comes up to the Kingsglaive guy and he's like, oh my god, you smell just like that letter. Oh, God.
And he's all like, ding,
Yeah. No.
rigid.
No. But yeah, they send him a letter, and she assumes that he's Noctis's friend, which is kind of weird because like they know each other, they like know that the other exists, but he's like this awkward.
They're classmates.
Yeah, they're just in school together.
And I would like to say that their classmates in the world looks modern. It doesn't look like super futuristic things are coming out from the sky and attacking you.
Right.
It looks like a modern Japanese anime, I would say.
Yeah, they must have hit like some
Japanese
crazy
school.
advancements,
Yeah,
like
I guess.
real quick.
And like the camera that he has is like a consumer grade piece of shit camera, right? It's like a regular photo snapper.
Right.
That is not the correct term.
The photo
snapper. But he uses the photo snapper to track his weight loss. He decides to get fit. I'm guessing is he doing it for Noctis or Luna Freya? Or?
I think he's doing it for both. He wants to be Noctis's friend, but he thinks that because he's
But because he's fat, of course, he can't be Noctis's friend.
Right, which is ridiculous. I have all sorts of fat friends.
But, there's a lot of fat stuff in this episode. Like,
did that hurt?
He walks home, which the montage that they have where he walks home looks like he's walking like 6 miles to get to home.
Right.
In which case, like, how the fuck is he so fat? But then as soon as he tries to jog, he's out of breath.
Like instantly.
Despite walking 12 miles a day, I assume he walks to the school and then walks back.
Yeah.
And somehow he's super out of breath by just like picking up the pace a little bit more. And of course we get to see a Rocky-esque montage of his weight loss.
Yeah, which really was nothing. He was like looking the same, and then suddenly he was like tiny.
No, he was smaller.
Did you notice it? Because I didn't really notice it.
Yeah, I noticed it a little bit. And every time he does this, there's a repeated shot where he's just like trying to jog across the screen, and another very athletic man keeps passing him.
Yeah.
And is saying konnichiwa to him, right? Saying, or good luck, or whatever he's saying to him. And we keep seeing that guy through the rain and the sunshine and whatever. And eventually Prompto is looking at himself in the mirror, and he's got a fucking 6-pack.
Yeah, he's like got 2% body fat.
Yeah.
It's just complete transformation. And then, of course, he could be friends with
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, of course, Noctis remembered him anyway.
And
so,
there's
like,
things like him tripping because he's too fat.
Yeah, I could see the pain in Joe's eyes when we were watching this. I
was just like, it reminded me of the day.
The day in the snow?
The day when me and Kayla were walking back from Snow College. In the snow, mind you. No pun intended. But there's a little bolt in one of the parking lots that I've tripped on before at the Snow College parking lot. Like, it was weird that I have tripped on that bolt before.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't fall. I just tripped. Caleb Craig, who is huge, mind you, he hits that thing and he goes down. And the earth shook. But he was fine. Let me say, he didn't if he fell down and I heard a snap, or if he fell down and he just was unconscious, I wouldn't have laughed. But he just kind of fell down and rolled around like a roly-poly. And
Jesus.
so I laughed. And he was pissed. Look, I grew up on America's Funniest Home Videos. You laugh when people fall. I mean, it's a dumb thing. It's low humor. But man, the image of Caleb just crashing to the ground. It was fucking funny. And I was laughing my ass off. And the first thing I said, through laughing and tears, was, are you okay? So fuck him for being so fucking butthurt about me laughing at him. It's not yeah, anyway. You don't laugh when people fall, dude. I was like, yes, you do. I mean, if you were if it was apparent that there was a problem,
then not so much.
So
did you laugh when Prompto fell, though?
I laughed that
it reminded you of Craig falling.
Reminded me of Craig falling.
All right, fair enough.
And just how incapable he was of getting himself back up, which was similar to when Caleb Craig fell. Dude, it's just not gonna happen. Help me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a turtle. So we also got another Kingsglaive official trailer, and I want to watch that right now with you. It's 1 minute and 51 seconds long.
I did see this one.
Oh, we're going to watch it anyway.
Okay.
Turn it down a little bit. It was loud as fuck last time. Now it makes no noise.
It is an honor to be recognized by the great King Regis.
Oh, yes.
Permit me to stand on ceremony and introduce myself nonetheless. Arden Izunia, Chancellor of Niflheim.
It looks so good.
And
like,
I come to you on this most auspicious of days to offer terms of peace.
You see, we don't need any of you immigrants jumping around playing war hero.
We will build a great wall.
I have no choice but to receive the Empire and accept their treaty.
Yes. I recognize that voice.
Your Majesty, please, give the order to deploy the glaive.
Look at that right there. It's real as fuck.
The king has spoken, and you have heard. All lands beyond the wall are to be relinquished to the Empire.
Those are our homes out there, our people. And you're just going to go along with this and abandon them?
Sacrifice Lucian's sons to save his own.
To save the world.
Once again, visually it looks amazing, but there's something weird with this trailer that I hope is not with the movie. And I didn't see it in the last trailer.
What was it?
The lip sync is off by like 2 frames, and it is bugging the shit out of me. Some of the performances of the voice actors aren't fitting the performances of the faces in that trailer.
Yeah.
And I hope it's just like we got to put this trailer out, use this vocal track sort of a thing, which happens all the fucking time. But, it just, something happened with the sound and the video that's not quite synced up on that trailer. And it was the same at my place, and I thought there might have been a problem with the YouTube thing. But since I'm seeing it here as well, that's
I don't know. I don't know. I can deal with that. We see that shit all the time in Japanese media.
Well, I don't know about the making of this movie. Of course, none of us really do.
Right. It's kind of
I'm not
underground.
sure if it's Japanese first, then it makes sense for the voices to be kind of off with the lip sync. But the voices looked like they were saying the right words. So the animation or just the sound for the trailer itself and not necessarily the movie is off. It's a little thing, but it was bugging me throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
Now, I say it's a little thing. It's a big thing if that's in the actual movie itself. I think they can do a better job of that. But, visually, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks almost real, man. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So along with that, I mean, we got another little article that has some character bios for some of the main characters of Kingsglaive. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be in the episode description as well, or on the forums. I have another trailer here. I probably should have brought this up earlier. It's another World of Final Fantasy trailer. We'll go into that after we talk about the FF7 Monopoly a little bit. So that it looks kind of cool. I mean, we've got the Monopoly board. We've got all the characters from Final Fantasy VII chilling on the front of it, and that's all we know.
It's old school, man. I was like afraid. They're like, oh, I just heard the announcement. I didn't see the box.
Yeah.
I just heard, FF7 Monopoly, and I'm like, it's going to be for the new one, and it's going to look like the new trailer. And then I looked at it, and it was like, oh, no, this is original artwork. This is
right.
So
it's cool because, in a way, we're kind of being more Shinra when we play Monopoly, right? We're going around, we're buying up all the areas and then controlling them.
Okay.
There's going to be Mako reactors. I bet you those will be they might be the railroads. That would be really cool to have like 4 major Mako reactors.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, the railroads.
What would be the main one, though? I mean, if we're talking
what would be the Park Place?
Park Place.
What would be Park Place? Fuck if I know.
It's tough. There's like a lot of big areas that it could be. Maybe Shinra headquarters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Icicle Inn, where it all began for.
They'll come up with something. It's just cool to have a Monopoly with like the artwork you want. I know I have Metallica Monopoly. Caleb Craig has Nintendo Monopoly.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like it's the same fucking game. It's just
cool little
packaged differently, and it's cool. It's cool, and everybody loves Monopoly unless you don't.
Oh, I guess that's true. I can't dispute that. So anyway, we got one more trailer we're gonna watch here. This is the World of Final Fantasy trailer. Let's watch it.
Chibi.
Yeah, apparently chibi means tiny, is what we kind of learned today.
It's like a cute word for it. There's other words that mean the same thing.
What a nap.
As far as I can tell, you two have lost everything. All the memories and experience you've ever accumulated.
Have you ever woke up and gone, what a nap?
Look at that.
Who are
Yar.
The giants from the hills.
Kingdom Hearts.
Who made all this smoke?
4.
Yeah.
Weird thing.
Then what if it's a mirage?
How incredibly rude.
I have to deal with 100 hours of this shit?
Be the tip of the iceberg. Oh no.
Just the tip.
Hey,
That
now,
lightning there.
There's certainly no way for us
Yeah.
to see a lady.
The whole catch
Oh,
about
wow.
joining the Federation is that you're
Edgar?
asked to become
Yeah.
an architect.
Nice.
Me?
I know.
I'm with Seed, a mercenary group in the League of S.
I'm gonna waddle over
Fight against
here.
The Federation.
In the League of S. What the fuck does S stand for in the
Look at
League
that.
of
It's
S?
more like it.
Dirges
Oh,
Cerberus.
wow.
I think it's kind of cool that they're
does
bringing them
this
all together.
Prophecy factor
Even the
in.
ultimate bastard
When
Dirge.
time begins its march anew.
Oh, it's got a bunch
They
of
shall
areas
return
from
as
different Final
visitors.
Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Giants from the
This
hills
seems like a
will
mobile
fall.
game that they were like, no, let's go all out.
Yeah, let's make it HD as fuck.
Yeah.
They will wreak two divergent
It
futures.
seems like another
One that brings salvation.
Dissidia
and the other
or
ruin. And
I would say
record keeper sort of thing.
Yeah, where it's a big
where everything's
callback.
being called
The
back.
way you use mirages. Only Luz Farna ever held such power over them.
Is that the same girl or is that a different person doing the unit voice?
I think it's the same.
There are
Is it?
4.
Yeah.
Earth, fire, water,
That's
and
definitely
shadow,
her,
if I
too.
remember correctly.
Well, you're
You're
not,
a
because
fool.
Shadow's not
Well, at a
one of the 4
to
crystals.
champion fire.
This is it. Home base for the League of S.
Alarm guard.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
wow.
Are you? What? Shriek now!
Holy mom bombs.
Lady Yuna!
You leave her to me.
I just heard holy mom bombs.
So,
I'm out.
Basically,
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
I'm
the
out.
grimoire
I'm not
and
I'm not
other
doing
worlds.
this shit.
in terrible danger. Luz Farna.
Wait
If you
a-
wish to find her, you must brave the Crystal Tower.
The
Then
cat
our mom's
owl
up there
person
somewhere?
thing.
Time for us has resumed its march.
This place, I know I remember it. And you? You aren't going to waver?
We have a prophecy to fulfill.
Yeah.
Is that a judge?
It's either a judge or a warrior of darkness.
Well, you know what?
I think it looked like a warrior of darkness, personally.
That fucking video you have up. I just hope it's not 100 hours of cutscenes.
Yeah.
I hope it's a fun game. That's what I
It looks pretty cool. I do enjoy the callback-esque of it, and I kind of like seeing some of the old characters with voices, see like how they assumed they would have sounded back then.
There's a lot of that in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that's true.
You do get Eris, and you get Squall and Cloud. Those are all in there. So it's not a chibi version of them.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't really know. Have we seen any true gameplay footage from that game?
We might have seen a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not 100%
not
sure if I
anything
saw that one.
that was mind-blowing enough for me to remember.
Yeah, mostly just little stuff like they were showing there, just little walking around, just a touch.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had to play it, so
let's hope it's good.
yeah.
That's what I say. All right, well, Schweiss, I think it's time to get some questions going.
All right, let's tag some. So this one is the first question of the day is from Strike Knight 130. Its topic is international versus original. With the international releases coming to the West, do you guys think the original releases were harder than the international ones? Ooh, that's tough. We don't actually know because we haven't played any of them. Final Fantasy X is the only one that we've touched so far, and
it had the Dark Aeons.
It did have the Dark Aeons,
harder.
But it also had a different sphere grid. But I didn't choose that one. I chose the regular. With the addition of the Aeons, I'd say so far, yeah. I'm looking at the 12 job system one. I don't think that one looks harder necessarily. It just
Something
looks different.
I know they did back in the day. This was FF4 time when they released it as FF2 here in the States on the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy IV was easy moded for the US for that version of Final Fantasy IV. Now I think we haven't had the easy mode since then. I don't think your PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy Chronicles version of Final Fantasy IV was made easier. But I know that original one that came out in the States, that one was nerfed.
Yeah.
And of course Final Fantasy X was nerfed for the one thing, which was the fucking Aeons, which is bizarre to me why they nerfed them in the first place.
Well, it's not. It's more of for the international release, they just put extra stuff in, I think.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
more on top of the fact. I don't think it's quite as much making the game easier for us. It's giving them more content.
Well, they give the Americans so much shit on this. Always making games easier for us, right? Or trying to sell us a Super Mario Bros. 2 or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It is interesting though with that Final Fantasy 15 shit, with what audience thought the game was too hard or whatever. It seems to have swung the other way.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at the Final Fantasy XV demo results, North American players thought it was too easy, and the Japanese players, they thought it was too hard.
Well, yeah, percentage-wise anyway, it was much higher over there. So
maybe we're just like, no, I can't admit to that. It was easy. It was too easy.
I'm wondering how much their culture has changed around video games in the last 20 years as well as ours.
Yeah.
Certainly games are more prevalent in our culture now, but I'm not sure how things are over there.
So we might just be naturally more inclined. We played more games, so we're better at it.
Yeah, that might be the thing. I think maybe, I don't know, has video game... I know that video game... I remember hearing a lot of stuff from a couple years ago where it's like Japanese games are dead and Japan is not making good games anymore like they used to. I've heard that complaint before from like Game Informer and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly like how much, if we should think of that as fact or not. But maybe games are just becoming less popular over there. That's an idea that I have no way of proving.
I would say regular console games might be. And that might be affecting
the mobile
it.
market is much bigger over there.
There's, mobile games. I know there can be difficulty in mobile games, but I don't know how. If that's probably the one thing that I would assume would affect it is just the market that they have for video games. It's not the sit at home, get really good at it, play it all the time to get.
Yeah, they were the kings though. Kings in the 90s. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Japanese video game makers.
Yeah, I mean Koreans are great at like esport games. So I don't think I've seen Japanese teams though. It's normally Korean teams. It's either U.S. or Korea that's like tearing it up.
If you're talking about League of Legends, I don't even know if League of Legends is in Japan.
I would assume it's there, but
because when you download the client, I think you had like 3 options or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while though.
It has been a long fucking while. So we do have another question here from Chocobo Chica. It's titled 3 Least Favorite Final Fantasy Characters. So I hope this one hasn't been asked already. I think it might have, but forever ago. But it's a great one to keep coming up because there's other ones to hate all along the way.
No, I think we did answer this one. Or we answered a similar 10-2 question about annoying characters.
We might have, yeah. So she's been playing FF4 for the first time. Got quite a bit of disdain for Edward. Maybe he comes into his own later in the game, but for now, not a fan. He doesn't. Don't worry. We've all got lists of favorite characters, favorite jobs, favorite villains, everything. But how about least favorite? Specifically, least favorite character from the main playable characters. How about top 3? For whatever reason, you dislike them. It could be due to their personality, their abilities, or their effect on the story. She's going to go with Hope from 13, just 13, he was great in the sequels, Selphie from 8, and Vaughn from 12. I found these characters the most annoying and or pointless throughout the series. And I, of course, asked, well, did they have to be from different games? Because if not, I think I know the 3 I'm going to pick. And that was when I was deep within 10-2.
Oh.
Of course, I was joking. Probably not all 3 would make the list as the least favorite.
One definitely will, in my opinion.
Yeah? Would you have your list ready?
I don't have... Look, all I got on there is Riku, and anything that reminds me of Riku. So Yuffie?
Riku, Yuffie, and Selphie?
Selphie is pretty far up there with her fucking train song, Train, Bring Us to Another World. Whatever the fuck she is singing on the train, which is fucking stupid. Let's see. Who else is a really dumb fucking character? God, no, that really, really sums it up. And anything kind of in that realm, they try that shit a lot. So
yeah.
I'm
gonna go with Selphie. Oh man, who do I want to do as my number 2?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'll do Edward because he's fucking annoying.
Edward is annoying. But I don't know. I had more of a problem with like Palom and Porum in 4, but then again, they like sacrifice themselves, and so there's like some humanity there.
Yeah,
Rika's just annoying.
And then Hope. I fucking hate Hope in 13. He's such a little pussy. He's such a dumb little fuck for like most of the game. It's just irritating. I mean, I didn't like Snow. I hated Snow when I first played it.
I like Snow.
I like Snow way more than I like Hope. It's like, it's not even a fucking contest between those two anymore. And it used to be. I was like, God, they're both together now. Like, I don't want to play this part because it's those two fuckers that I hate. That was the first time I played it. Second time through, Snow's a lot better than Hope. So
Okay.
I would make that my top 3. Let's see what everybody else said. Shinru says Vaughn from 12, Hope from 13, and likes him in 13 and Lightning Returns. He only came up with 2. Apparently Shinru loves everybody else. Fruff. Zell, Irvine, and Riku. Only 66% of FF8.
Zell. Fuck.
Zell is pretty annoying.
Oh, Zell is pretty bad.
The hot dog thing is funny, though, so...
Zell is painful.
Yeah, Craig says he doesn't care for Butts, Zidane, and Yuffie. He figured he'd leave FF8 out.
Butts.
I don't know. Kaleb doesn't like 5, though.
Yeah.
Gotta remember that. Cloud's top 3 worst characters. Number 1, Selphie. Number 2, Riku. 10-2 version mostly, he says. And number 3, Amaranth. Absolutely no logical character motivation at all.
Yeah, maybe for that, but I didn't find him annoying. I think characters that I find annoying are worse than characters with no purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find Vaughn annoying. I just think he has no purpose, but he's not going to make it in my bottom 3 because he has no purpose.
He just has no, yeah, you're right. He's just a shell character.
Yeah.
Not Cloud. Gammon Stark says Selphie, Riku, and Amaranth. So we got some heavy hitters here with the Selphie and the Riku.
And 2 Amaranths. I'm surprised on that one.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Gabranth brings a good one here. He says his least favorite are probably Kate Sith, which I forgot. I fucking hate Kate Sith. Yuffie and Zell. Or Irvine.
I think Kate Sith is the worst in the movie form. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. He's pretty bad in 7. I hated his character. I forget about how much I dislike Kate Sith. It's kind of weird. Skull Hades says, least favorite has to be Riku, both 10, and even worse in 10-2, Irvine and Zell. Dishonorable mention, Yuna in 10-2. He only loved her in 10, Selphie, Eco, and Kate Sith. Damn, this is a good one. Eyes on Me, Hope, Kate Sith, Amaranth. Edward. Oh. Okay, this guy's got Hope, is pretty whiny about his mother. Oh, no, he's just justifying the One Nation. I don't see any list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, his 3 least favorite, Hope, Reeve, and Joseph. What?
What's wrong with Joseph?
Well, I mean...
Ain't nothing wrong with Joseph. If he was talking about the Final Fantasy II guy.
I think he was. There were a couple of good mentions here. Hope, he hates Joseph because he's a noob who got crushed by a rock.
Oh, come on. That was a selfless sacrifice.
Yeah, that was beautiful in that game.
See you get crushed by a rock.
Yeah, save the party.
See if you get cut off your own arm. That's pretty much touch on all the really annoying characters.
Yeah, Amaranth was kind of dumb, I thought. I didn't really use him, at all.
I liked Amaranth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always remember Cody being like, oh, this guy's the best.
I think Quinn is a dumber character, but people love Quinn.
I think Quinn's great. I think he's funny.
See?
I think he's hilarious.
I think Amaranth is cool.
He went up and licked the crystal that they were looking at. This is fucking no care in the world. Just tasting all the foods.
I would like to add, I know a lot of people love him. I hate Ultros.
Yeah.
He's not a playable character, but I hate him. That's mostly my ad, is Ultros. I fucking hate Ultros. I think he adds a sort of comic element to a very depressing game, I guess. Otherwise, but I don't know. I don't know how necessary Ultros was to Final Fantasy VI.
He does feel a little out of place, honestly, within the universe itself. But a lot of people do love him. You're right. It's we saw somebody dressed up as Ultros at the Final Fantasy XIV convention.
Yeah.
A few years ago, and that was the weirdest thing.
I like the idea of Ultros more than I like him when he shows up in Final Fantasy VI. When he shows up in Final Fantasy VI, I'm like, Jesus, just let me get on with this.
Yeah.
And instead it's like, oh, I'm Ultros and I shall get in your way. It's time for a boss fight.
Had to throw one in.
It's time.
That is a good point. That is kind of how the game works. Oh, you think you're doing well, huh? Well, you're not. You gotta fight these fucking OP rats, and then you gotta fight the Squid Man again. So would you say he's more annoying than Seymour, then? Because Seymour has a similar...
Seymour's not an annoying character to me. Ultros is actually, the way he talks, the way he acts is...
Okay.
Like a clown.
All right.
And so it's different to me than Seymour. Seymour is a more serious character. Despite his hair, he is a more serious character.
Yeah, as long as you just look at his face, it's okay.
Yes.
You can get over it.
Timeverse is not happy with my pick of Ultros. He's a big fan of Ultros. He said Gao as one of the most annoying characters as well in the chat.
Yeah.
Which is that's a good pick. For worst character.
Yeah. Gao is kind of weird. He just kind of runs off, does his own thing. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Do you want to answer one more?
Let's do one more.
All right. This one's topic is non-human characters. If a story has characters which are unrelatable, the story fails to varying degrees. Fundamentally, that which is inhuman is less relatable, and why physicists get fewer dates than psychologists. I think FF can have difficulties in making their non-human characters memorable in any way. What non-human characters are memorable? What characters are totally forgettable or bad? Examples include Nanaki, Kimari, and Quina. A difficult addendum to this question is what counts as non-human. For example, Freya from FF9 is human in his opinion. This is Cloud asking this one. If she were a human versus a rat, literally nothing in her story changes. There is no challenge to relating her because she is a rat. By contrast, Quina's story is not particularly human in nature, and no one really has motivations like it does. There are characters for whom the line is a bit blurrier. Kate Sith is a robot, but he is controlled by a human. Gao is a human, but not in any sense any of us could relate to. Ironic that Kate Sith's motivations make more sense than an actual human merely obsessed with following around Mr. Thao. Ooh, that is a tough one.
You picked this as the final question.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about whether or not they're memorable? I'm sorry.
What characters are memorable and what aren't?
Oh.
As far as the non-human, it's both. I would say
I've remembered all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they kind of do like a midway through the series, they start doing sort of a Star Wars-y thing, where they do have a lot of non-human characters.
Right.
Star Wars had the
different races.
Yeah, Star Wars had Chewbacca, and it has the robots, and they're part of the gang in the Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah.
And so I just assume it kind of comes from that, where it's like, well, we have multiple races in this world. We might as well make them part of the party. But they're always humanoid,
yeah,
right? They're always relatable as characters. We haven't seen the nonverbal character. We haven't seen an R2-D2, I would say. But they all have distinct personalities, and they all have distinct designs, and I think that's what makes the non-human characters work. They're actual characters. I don't think they haven't written those characters as non-human.
Right.
They have written them as human characters, despite their bodies not being human.
Yeah, and he brings up a good point that almost kind of just undermines the whole question. With Final Fantasy IX, almost everybody's like some sort of fucking furry in that game. There's some animal, some creature.
Except for Dagger.
Yeah, except for Dagger. She's the only human. And you're right. They all have dialogue that is that of a human. They all have emotions. Well, okay, most of them have emotions that are that of humans. They're basically human in everything but design. If I were to pick ones that aren't human, I would go with probably Red 13 as the best one in the series. I like his backstory. I like the story with his father, Seto, and then sacrificing himself for the village, and how his whole life he thought his father was just a coward that ran away, but really he just died in the spot that they can't really get to, and he was kind of his moment, his ascension into manhood almost was finding out the truth about his father and like being able to accept that he's not some freaking coward son. I thought that was great, and I thought his character was enjoyable for the most part, and he was probably the least human of the sort of human characters. He did talk, but he still like walked on all fours.
Yeah, and I think it works for a game, especially an old school game. If they with FF10 it works because Kimahri is kind of humanoid, but if Kimahri was on all fours and actually looked like a dog, I don't know if they could have pulled it off. I mean, they can pull it off. People can pull those types of characters off.
Yeah.
The most successful one I'm thinking of right now is remember Disney had Chronicles of Narnia. They had the first one. What was that? Just the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
And that movie was pretty successful. And the character of Aslan in that was very well made. He's a good character, and he was animated extremely well. Now that is a movie with like a shitload of budget at the time, especially. But I don't know with Square Enix if they could necessarily pull it off as well. But it all depends on the world that they build and whether or not they can do that. Certainly, Red 13 and Advent Children was an embarrassment.
Well, yeah,
to all mankind. The way his mouth moved just didn't look right, and that's kind of like part of the
immersion.
Yeah, part of the immersion with that, and luckily it was only one line. They still have the stigma, yeah, that's odd to me. I think Red 13 in FF7 is really great. Red 13 in Advent Children is really not.
Yeah.
Frankly, the robot cat in both Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus, I don't think it's that great of a character.
Yeah, and it's odd. Like, why would you?
I love Kimahri.
Yeah.
So I kind of think Kimahri is a stronger character than we give him credit for. Now, he's not used very much in the party because blue mages suck.
They're fun to learn.
Unless they're level 99 and helping you out in Final Fantasy XI. Blue mages, though, like they're the least used class for me. And so I hardly ever used him, and so there might be a void in the connection there between me and Kimahri, or most players in Kimahri. I don't think most players go for the blue mage, though some do just for fun.
I beat 8 with Quistis, but I had some moves by her that did max damage, so I was like, I don't give a fuck what she does, as long as I can throw this thing out. But,
yeah, and personally, I think his stats are just not good enough. They're not better than Auron's or Titus's or Wakka's naturally.
Yeah, Auron's stats are a lot better.
Like, he's some sort of weird in-betweener, and so he's not used as much. And there's no creature that Kimahri is especially needed for when the rest of the party members have something.
You do get armor piercing pretty early for him, and he is faster than Auron. So that's one thing you can do, but I don't know. I usually don't use him that much either myself.
Yeah.
Just one of the characters that I usually don't go with. I usually go with Auron, Titus, and Wakka.
But, you know, like the non-human characters in FF12, like the merchants and stuff, I think that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to have them in your party.
Yeah, that would be cool. I like the Bagamnon guy with his, like, fucked up chainsaw-looking thing.
It takes a storyteller with bigger balls than me to have a non-human character with a talking part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a...
I think FF does it pretty well, though, overall.
So far, they've done it pretty well, except for Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus, in my opinion. So yeah. Actually, they've done a really good job of that, and I think their secret to that is making basically a human character. Just making them look different and sort of have a different background or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you want to get some questions from us to you?
From us to me, or them to us?
You know what? Actually, before that, we got some iTunes reviews, Schweiss.
Oh, we do. Let's jump on those. Oh, man. So we have 3 reviews in the time we've been gone.
We have 2.
Well, now there's 3.
There's 3?
Yep. This one is from TGF.
We did that one before.
DHD. No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Are
We
you
definitely
fucking
did.
serious?
Yeah.
June 5th?
It's just the blank one.
Oh, my God. You're right. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
the blank one. That one showed up as like an ohm symbol or some shit.
Oh, well, yeah. If you look on another program, it's like a bunch of thumbs ups and like,
a ring looking
a
thing.
mailbox or something. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Anyway, the first
But
true.
thanks for the 5-star review.
Yes. The first true review we have is from Chronogasm. It's a 5-star review titled, I feel guilty not doing this sooner.
Oh, we
as you should.
Wait, have we done this one?
I don't know.
Well, read it anyway. It's got my name.
We might not have, or we might have before. It's been a fuck ton of time. I've listened since episode 1 and have seen the leaps and bounds these guys have made in their product. I listened to every single episode and love the smooth sounds of Degolier in my headphones each week at work. You fucker, we did read this one. You just wanted to hear me say that again. Honestly, this is one of my favorite podcasts and the best FF around. Keep up the quality podcast. We make his work week better. We know, because we said it last time. This one, though, this one is definitely new. It's a 5-star review from Mr. Pilkington, titled Incredible Delivery.
I love your fucking name.
And fueled with passion for the franchise.
Pilkington that.
I go on walking in the morning while listening to this podcast, and it proves to be a great start to my day. As a Final Fantasy fan for 16 years, the podcast is not only the best all-in-one place for your necessary daily dose of Final Fantasy injected right into your arm.
Well, weekly, let's be clear.
But the wealth of topics, reviews, and news is enough to keep you going another round. Ooh. Currently going on my own grind as I have 3 games in the series I have never completed and want to do so by the end of the year. These are FF3, FF5, and FF6.
3 in the main series, then.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And this podcast surrounds those play sessions with reinforced love for the franchise. Keep going, guys. You are doing the Lord's, or should I say, Gaia's work.
Thank you very much for the review. We appreciate it when you guys give us iTunes review, and we continue to ask for more. Certainly, if you haven't given us a review yet on iTunes, please do. I'm not sure if there's a place to give reviews on Google Play yet.
I haven't seen any place. I know that's a new thing, and we are submitted there. So if you guys have, if you use Google a lot,
yeah, if you want to uninstall Podcast Addict or whatever you got on your Android device, and you want to use Google instead, we are on there. yeah, if you're listening to us on Stitcher, there's a place in Stitcher to give us reviews. So if you put a review in a place that's not iTunes, just let us know.
Yeah, we normally I haven't checked Stitcher in like a year, so.
Oh, we checked it like a month ago.
You might have.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
You are we. You and I are we.
That's disturbing to me. But no, we really do appreciate it. It helps the show grow. It makes Joe super, super hard on for me, apparently, wanting to become one.
Yep, let's become one twice.
Yes. I think we got a question from us to you now, though.
Oh, we do. I am Fabula. I have questions for you from me. All right, guys. So I gotta be careful not to get too close to the mic right now. I was ready to jump on it.
Yeah,
yeah. All right. So this week, guys, we are planning to finish Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission, and we are planning to finish this by Tuesday. So you guys got 2 days from the time this episode comes out. In fact, you have 1 day from the time this episode comes out to ask your Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission questions. I'm going to go ahead and right after we're done recording this, I'm going to pop up a thread on the forum for you guys to ask away. Ask your X-2 Last Mission questions.
In addition to that, tell us what you thought of the game. Give us your very concise and succinct reviews of Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission. What did you think about it? Do you think it added to the universe? Did you like the final dungeon? The normal stuff. Let us know what you think, and yeah, we'll hit that up hopefully next week. I got a lot of gaming to do, but I feel like I might be able to make it.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that's going to be it for this episode, Schweiss. Please, guys, check us out on youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy, twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy, where we are streaming this episode live.
Oh, yeah.
We will probably not stream next week's or the weeks after, but we will be back.
Yes.
You can go to patreon.com and support the show for $1 a month. It'll give you the episodes, as soon as we're done mixing them. And you can also, other ways to support the show, there's a link for Amazon on the site. If you click through that and bookmark that Amazon as your Amazon link on your computer, then anytime you make a purchase, a small percentage will go to us as well.
Right. It helps us cover all the costs of the new equipment, the replacements, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Gives us opportunities to go to fan festivals because we don't have to pay for the show anymore. It's great. We really do appreciate it, guys. So if you can, go for it. Also, check out our other podcasts. We have Nude Clan Gaming. I think it might be the best podcast we've ever released, and that hurts me because I love Ultima. But Nude Clan I can say whatever the fuck I want on that show, and I do. So, guys, check that one out. It's a lot of fun. It's a little more, way more over the top. There's a lot of us just going at each other, but
it's a looser
not in a gay
show.
way. But
it's definitely
we do game reviews every other week, and when we don't, we review movies based on video games, stuff like that. Then we just have general topic episodes, which I think are great.
Yeah,
it's weird that the review episodes I like, but a lot of people are liking just the topic episodes more than the reviews, which I feel like might have to do with the planning of the review, but that's personal. Check that one out. You guys can check out Joe and Drew's Godzilla podcast. They're going to be watching another one of the movies today and hopefully recording the episode sometime next week.
Yep.
And Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction. If you loved that segment back in the day, you don't have to miss it anymore. It's its own separate podcast.
And if you're one of those freaks who decided to not start the podcast with episode 1, go in the back catalog. There's these little minisodes called Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction. You can find out what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, those are incredible. Those are hilarious to me.
Yeah, don't listen to it with kids in the car.
No, or kids anywhere near you,
or
basically.
Or any human being near you.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Well, you can also, by the way, ask us a question or leave us a message or give us an intro at 385-204-3921. That's 385-204-3921. We need to use that phone number a little bit more often. Twice.
Yes, we do.
All right. We will see you guys next week.
Enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show is produced by Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss, and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.